All week long, we're giving the top 5 candidates for San Francisco mayor a chance to make their case to voters. Our guest today is Mayor London Breed. Breed was born and raised in San Francisco. She was on the Board of Supervisors before becoming interim mayor in 2017 after the tragic death of Ed Lee. And then she won the special election in 2018. Mayor London Breed is here live with us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
There's a bit of a delay. I'll just tell our audience members there, but I'm going to ask each candidate the same first question. If you could pick one thing to change or improve in the city of San Francisco, what would that be?
Oh, it would definitely be how people feel about safety. We know that crime is lower than it's been in 10 years, and we're proud of the work we've done to get there. But we also understand that people don't completely feel as if the city is safe. And so I would change the feeling of how people walk the streets of San Francisco. I want them to love and appreciate this city. And I'm looking forward to it starting to happen in light of what we've been able to do to add technology, build capacity, and get to a place where the city is starting to feel exciting. It's feeling hopeful, and I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I want to dig a little bit deeper into that because we talk a lot about the issues of homelessness, drug use on the streets, public safety. Now, a lot of cities across America are dealing with the exact same problems. Crime rates, as you mentioned, actually down in this city. But with high-profile shootings like the one involving Ricky Pearsall just add to San Francisco's reputation of being unsafe. How do you actually turn that reputation around as mayor? What's your specific plan?
Well, San Francisco has one of the lowest violent crime rates in the country. And more importantly, right away, when that shooting occurred, that person within less than a minute was arrested by police and detained. And our district attorney has already filed charges. And I think how we turn this around, San Francisco has to make sure, and we have publicists, we have people who are out there, SF Travel and others. We have to correct the record, get the story straight, and make sure people know that when you come to San Francisco and think that you're able to get away with any of these crimes, we have cameras, we have officers, we have the capacity now to hold you accountable, and things are a lot different. And ultimately, working with different outlets, not just here locally, but everywhere, is going to be something that we are hoping could make the difference with having a publicist, having more marketing, and some of the work we're doing with SF Travel and other institutions that are an important part of San Francisco as well.
Now, I lived in the city for about 13 years. I've got 2 little boys, so obviously education top of mind. And right now, parents and students are waiting to hear if their school will be closing. And SFUSD has dealt with a slew of problems over the past few years between low enrollment, teacher shortages, and low test scores. Now, I understand the school district is separate from City Hall. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. But a strong education system is vital to the health of a city. What are you going to do to improve the state of our schools right now?
Well, it is vital. And what we have already done is not only provide $120 million to help support our schools financially, but we have also provided resources for wellness centers, making sure that our kids have the mental health support that they need. We have been front and center on helping the school deal with the challenges related to its finances, including our former controller going into the district to help reshape and ensure that the payroll system and what we need to do to ensure that teachers are paid within a timely manner occurs. And we also have invested in resources for teacher retention. We have other support to support the school system. But like you said, we don't run the school system, but we put resources in, we push for accountability, and we work hand in hand with the district. I've actually appointed some of the members of the school district in order to help get the schools on the right path. Right now, they are trying to right size their schools. We have some schools that don't have enough students and others that might have too many, and they have to start talking to parents about what that means so that the district doesn't get taken over by the state. Our office is working hand in hand with the school district to ensure that we are communicating and working with parents, and we're making the right decisions for the long-term stability of the school district.
All right, what about revitalizing downtown and attracting more businesses? I mean, just today you announced legislation to remove costly business fees, or impact fees as they're known. How do you believe that's going to help businesses?
So San Francisco has been notorious for getting to know, limiting where you can have retail, where you can have office space,
Mhm.
where you can have housing, and we're going to do all of it. And when I say all of it, a building that's only for office can be office, housing, and retail, putting retail at the bottom space, getting to yes instead of saying no, removing the barriers of our laws, making investments. And I went to the voters this past March. We waived the transfer tax. So if someone wants to convert any office buildings to housing, they can do so without paying, a ridiculous amount of fees. We're trying to make it financially feasible and provide a way to reimagine downtown as a neighborhood, a place where you work, live, and play, nightlife, entertainment, all kinds of fun things. My economic recovery plan includes a plan to also make changes to our laws to make a lot of these things happen. We're really excited that some of it is already starting to take shape.
What about the folks who work in those businesses, though? So often we hear about the people who were born in San Francisco, have family here, now want to work here, but simply can't afford to live here. What's your plan to help them?
So we have to build more housing. And when I say more housing, again, it goes back to we didn't have all the tools we needed at one point to produce housing in San Francisco. And now, with also some changes to state laws, we have new financing tools. We have the ability to do over the counter permits. So the obstruction that occurs when people oppose housing can no longer get in the way like it used to. We went from one property where we identified a lot to the first family moved into affordable housing. It took 10 years. And now, with laws like SB 35, we had a property we identified. We broke ground a year later. It only took a year to break ground for 146 units for homeless seniors. We are making changes to get the bureaucracy out of the way so that we can push for more aggressive housing production all over San Francisco, because that's how we make sure that it's affordable, not just for the folks who we know want to work here and want to live here, but what happens to the next generation if we don't get out of the way of producing more housing everywhere.
Speaking of the next generation, Twitter just left its headquarters within the last few days or so, and San Francisco has relied heavily on these tech companies to be headquartered here. But so much of the culture of these tech companies is that boom and it's bust. That's just kind of the way it works. But San Francisco often becomes the victim of that kind of culture. Do you have a plan to kind of maintain a more sustainable business relationship with some of these to attract new businesses, but also to keep them here?
Well, we have to be able to work with all of these businesses. I mean, IKEA and Salu Hall, a food hall in the mid market, came because I invited them, and my office worked hand in hand to make sure that they moved in and they were open. Visa decided their global headquarters was going to move from the downtown, not out of San Francisco, but to Mission Bay, this new and improved area where places like OpenAI have signed 500,000 square feet of office space. So it's more than just downtown. It's working with businesses to be a part of the fabric of San Francisco in all communities from Mission Bay, Pier 70, and parts of downtown. Just this week, we just did a ribbon cutting for the Transamerica Pyramid building. They did a complete remodel, which also include the surrounding area, $1 billion investment in downtown right next to Jackson Square. So our office works hand in hand to ensure that this gets done. It gets done in a timely manner, that we provide incentives, that we work to remove bureaucracy so that these projects can get done in record numbers so we can get people back to work. We have seen some major successes as a result of that. I know a lot of attention is paid to some of the businesses that decide to leave, but even in downtown San Francisco and Union Square, we've had over 50 new leases signed. And we know that there is more to come because we are getting to yes instead of saying no all the time.
All right, Mayor London Breed, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And our conversation with